Hello, folks. Welcome to our next book chat. Now, we are taking a gamble and we are going live since you all survived the giggles from last time anyway, and we didn't edit that out. So we're here live this evening. We hope you've had a good start to your week, and we're going to be just chatting about some of the books that we have been reading. And as always, the idea of this is to give you some ideas of things that are good for you to read, and particularly like your daughters or your kids to read. So I'm here with Zenae and Liana. And who would like to go first?
We can go me this week.
Okay. All right. Zenae's going to go first. So tell us, what is the book that you just finished reading?
The Book Thief by Markus Zusak.
Okay. So why were you reading this book?
We were doing an independent reading in my English class, and my English teacher literally threw the book in my hand.
Oh, so it was his suggestion?
Yeah.
For your free reading?
Yeah.
I see. Okay. And you've just finished this very recently, haven't you?
Yeah, like
today. Okay. So tell us about the book.
It is about a foster girl in Germany during World War II. As it suggests, like, she loves reading, and she didn't know how to read when she first arrived with her foster family, but then she grew this obsession with words and books, and yeah.
So when is it set?
World War II.
World War II. In what country?
Germany.
In Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to be clear, this one's not written by a Christian author, but this one was all clean and above board, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me read it.
Yeah. Well, that's true. She is at a Christian school, so tell us then, what did you like about the book?
It had a very unique perspective. You don't find a lot of people like speaking or writing about the Germans' perspective during like the World Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It's always making them like seem like monsters.
Yep.
But this certainly, I guess, humanizes them because like it gives them emotions. It shows the struggle that they had during the war. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's written in Death's perspective. Death is like a character, and he is writing the book, and I also find that very interesting.
So you enjoyed the book? So what would you give it out of 5?
A 4, because sometimes it's hard to keep up. It has a lot of German words, and it keeps bouncing here and there. Okay. So yeah.
So there's a movie, right? Okay. Now, how does the movie compare with the book?
The movie actually captures a lot of the detail, which I really appreciate. And it captures what I had in mind pretty well, actually.
Yeah. Okay. So is there anything else about the book you'd like to? So what age group do you think this would be good for?
Around 14 and up.
Okay.
Because it's a hard read.
Okay. Yeah, it's a hard one, but it's good.
Yeah,
and worthwhile. Okay, that's very good. So if you've just joined us, we are doing our book chat. I believe if you're here watching, please say hi so we can give you a shout out. You may have to give StreamYard permission first, but if not, we'll try and work out who you are. But please say hello. So we've just had Zenae talk about The Book Thief, which is a book she just finished reading today. And Liana is going to give us a little bit more about the book that she read that we talked about last book chat and the other 2 books in the series. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. What have you been reading?
So I mentioned in the last book chat the very first book, which is Heart of a Royal, which I really enjoyed, and I mentioned a bit more in the last book chat. And the next one is Heart of a Princess. So this one is about a princess, and she went through a lot of struggles. And for her sanity, her brother locked her in a farm. Not really locked her, but
For her sanity.
yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, she like had like a anxiety attack at a press conference or something. So her brother put her in the farm so that she could like de-stress.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
But she really hated her brother for that because she's one of these prissy princesses and things, and she didn't like mud.
It doesn't sound like it was less stressful for her then.
Yeah, well, not at first. I mean, she was put there for 2 months.
Yep.
Now that sounds like a very typical storyline that you might like find in a lot of places, but it's definitely also a very unique book, with a bit of a unique perspective on it because it's also a journey of. She learns to trust people within this book, and she discovers that she doesn't have to be perfect and how to let her guard down and just to, I guess, trust people.
Yep. So just to recap as well, these are romances.
Yes.
Okay, written by a Australian Christian author. Yep. Not necessarily Christian novels.
Actually, they do have quite a bit of Christian.
Oh, okay. So they are. Yep. But it's
It wasn't in the first book, but it appeared more in the second and third.
Ah, okay. Yeah. All right. And it's royal romances.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So that was book 2.
And book 3, Heart of the Crown. It's about a girl who was actually a lot in book 1. She fell in love with the prince from book 1, but then the prince rejected her basically, and then she was like heartbroken and then humiliated in front of the entire kingdom. So she told herself, no more princes, she's done, until Alina, the girl from the last book, puts her into a castle to babysit the prince's son, and the prince's wife had just died. Oh,
you okay?
Oh, a scandal. Yeah. So yeah, she kind of is forced to become the nanny, but then she ends up enjoying herself. And then you learn a lot about forgiveness and kind of breaking through chains that hold you captive in that book. It had some good lessons.
Yep. So when we spoke to you last time, you were raving about the first book, Heart of the Royal, and you'd read it very quickly, and you'd been laughing throughout it. You really enjoyed it. How did the next 2 compare?
Well, my favorite one is definitely still the first one.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think my next favorite would be Heart of a Crown. That one was good.
Which is the second one?
Third.
Oh, the third one. Okay.
Heart of a Princess was also really good. I think it was the funniest, but the storyline didn't quite meet the standards of the others.
Okay. Yep. So the series overall, what would you give it out of 5?
Oof, series. Let me just do some quick maths.
She likes that. She'll do calculations, okay? There's fractions involved in her mind right now.
I'm probably going to give it somewhere around a 4.45.
I told you. Okay, for overall. All right, so let's rate them individually. So we knew the first one
was a 5.
Was a 5, yeah.
And I'm trying to remember. I already rated these in my head. I keep a book. I have this notebook that has a record of all the books I've read in order and ratings and a comment. So I think I gave this one a 4.3.
Okay. I didn't realize you're going to go to really that level of points. Or maybe you do half points, like 4.5, and that would be it. Yeah. But okay.
Yeah. And this one was 4.7.
4.7. Okay, there you have it. Very precise. But they're all highly recommended.
Yes.
Right? And you enjoy that. So who would you recommend this to? What age group is this?
I think even advanced 10-year-olds, a bit more advanced 10-year-olds could even read these. All the way through to like teens.
Yeah. Do you think adults would enjoy it?
It's a possibility, if you like some lighter romance kind of thing.
And younger, basically. Yeah. Which I have often. Okay, and just to clarify, Liana's 12, so that's where she's reading from. Nearly 13, so that's her perspective from there.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate these dresses? Like,
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
I like this one the best.
Yeah. I like that color. That color is beautiful.
No, this one definitely.
You might have to hold it a bit closer so people can see.
No, but like, oh.
All right. Yes, beautiful. And look, you know what? People do judge a book by its cover. If the cover is very unappealing, people aren't going to pick up the book. So this has the beauty of having a good cover and a good story inside.
Yep.
So that's great. I have not got a book cover to show you. If you have been paying attention to my posts, you will find that I have written about the Britney Spears, The Woman in Me. Just wait one moment. I'm just going to check if someone said hello there. No, that wasn't a comment. Yeah. So so if you're there watching, hello. Thanks for joining us here. So I finished probably a bit over a week ago now, The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. Clearly not a Christian book. This is her memoir about, I guess, her life up until now. She's my age, and this is part of the fascination with Britney Spears with me. And I don't mean like a fascination, but that's what interested me in the book. This was like her peak in her career and everything. That was a real critical time in my life, going to uni and things like that. So that's what interested me, because I remember watching her just totally spiraling. Sorry, my husband is just coming. If there's some extra noise here. I just remember her spiraling out when you started to hear the stories of her shaving her head and driving with her baby on her lap, like things like that. I remember that, and I just remember thinking, what is going on? I wasn't like a massive fan of Britney or anything like that. I did enjoy her earlier music. She started to lose me after Toxic. But it's just an era. I feel like we are from the same era because we're the same age. So I was curious to hear her memoir. You can read more about my take on it from my blog post. You can check for my other posts about that if you haven't read it already. But like in summary, sorry, it's shower time for Matthew, so it's a bit noisy. In terms of a book, it's interesting to hear about her life, but I did find the first half of her memoir it felt like there was something missing. I felt there's some important details that were not given. I felt that she glossed over some things, like she kind of dropped a bomb. Oh yeah, this happened, and then move on. And you were just kind of like, what? Wait a minute. We need a bit more information about that. And then when the conservatorship started, which is a tongue twister of a word, it was the emotions and the details were more there, and it was tough to listen to. What she went through was just horrendous. But that did get a little bit repetitive at the end. And it's not like you end the novel feeling all this hope and wonderful, yes, she's out of the conservatorship, but where is her life going now? She's only just come out of it, so we don't really know. And so, from that perspective, if you're looking for something to make you feel good, don't read it. But it was just interesting, and I took more out of it from a spiritual context than anything else, and just about how it just struck me really, really from the beginning of the book that the odds were against her from day one. Because there was generational strongholds in her family, like well established. And when people are born into families with addiction and control and abuse and things like that, most of us know that that's not easy to break. And so from that perspective, it was really sad, and I felt for her because it just felt like, okay, you didn't have a lot of hope to begin with. And I just want to give a word of caution that she does speak about praying. She never mentions to whom. And I have seen some things on her Instagram, which please don't go and see because, oh my gosh, the post that she puts up there, which kind of shows that she's still struggling with issues. Yeah, she is involved with New Age, third eye, magic stuff. So, just because someone says they're praying, be very careful and don't just assume they're praying to God. But yeah, that was my book that I've read in the last little while. Mm-hmm. So, does if anyone has any questions, you can pop them up. What are we reading at the moment? She's smiling because she's really enjoying what she's reading now.
Yeah, I'm reading Zusak, the series, The Christensen's Family.
Yeah, which is actually like one of my favorite series ever. So yeah.
It's really intense though, and I just went, whoa, at one point, and I was on the floor crying for 10 minutes.
I found her pacing the hall last night because she was so upset about what was going on in the book, and she just was like pacing to get rid of her frustration. So what book, how many in the series?
6.
And what book number are you up to right now?
3.
But you didn't read book 1, did you?
I read the blurb of book 1 and I just went, no, I don't really want to. Maybe I'll go back and read it someday, but I started at book 2. Book 2 is good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. And what about you?
I'm reading a 30-day, like sort of, I don't want to call it a course. Devotion, yeah. By one of my favorite Christian authors, Before You Meet Your Future Husband. I think
So who's the author?
Robin Jones-Gunn and
Trisha Goyer, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Some big names in Christian fiction. Yeah.
Yeah. I picked up the book a couple of weeks ago in Currie in Newcastle, and because Robin Jones-Gunn wrote the Christy Miller series that really inspired me in my spiritual journey. So I picked it up, and I will be talking about it next week.
Okay. As for me, I haven't picked up another novel. I'm still going through the Armor of God study. I recently just finished the week on, and when I say week, I take longer than a week to do them, on the Shield of Faith. I think once I get through all of them, I will talk more about it. But it's challenging, and that's why I'm not rushing with it. And it's interesting because I definitely got a better perspective on the Shield of Faith and how we use it. And then by the end of the study, God just showed me what aspect of the Shield of Faith I was really not implementing. So I may as well just say, like, the Shield of Faith and the Armor of God, we activate it by stepping out in faith. So faith is just not sitting there saying, oh, yes, I trust God, right? That's a passive. This is an active faith that the Shield of Faith is, and that the faith God expects us to have. So if you believe God for something, then you take action, you take the next step. Like you book the course. If you believe, okay, God's going to lead me into this field or whatever, you go and do the course. That's your act of faith. You go and step into them. And by the end of it, God sort of showed me, I don't have any problems with that. I've proven myself that I will just keep stepping out in faith. And the more you do it, the easier it is. What I had a problem is resting in faith, and resting as an active thing. So when I've done my bit, also just being able to rest, it's kind of like standing as well, just standing firm, and knowing that I can rest in faith, knowing that God's still doing what he's doing and it's all going to happen and everything. So that was very interesting for me. So I'm just starting the second last one, Helmet of Salvation. Yep, so I still have a little while to go at the pace I'm going, but that's okay. All right, well, thank you for joining us. Thank you, girls, for sharing, and we hope that this is helpful to some parents out there and other teenage girls looking for interesting things to read that are appropriate, safe, clean, you know, not something that is going to corrupt your minds. And yeah, we will see you when we do the next book chat, which we can't. Did you want to say something? No. Which we will not guarantee which is when, but you know, in the next couple of weeks. All right, have a good evening.